Yeah, I agree.
I mean, they got nothing to lose too, though. Like nobody expected them to be undefeated. You know what I'm saying? They can play free. Nobody expects them to beat Ohio State. That's the thing. They're a 13-point underdog.
Hey guys, this is your favorite neighborhood gambler, Moss Money. Thanks for clicking on my video. If you're into gambling, if you're into winning money at gambling, hell, if you love talking Eagles, this is the channel and the videos for you. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and enjoy the show.
We're gonna start with the big game, man.
Yes,
Big,
sir.
big, big, big game here in Ohio State. Normally, this game is not a big game at all. It's usually that bye week for Ohio State to go into the Michigan Ohio State game. Looks like this year Ohio State can't skip over Indiana. Indiana is undefeated at 10-0 right now, and
Hmm.
has pretty much went through all types of, uh, I would say, styles of games. They've dominated games. They've won close games. This team is a complete team. New head coach, as we've been talking about, is coming to Indiana in a shape form. Same thing. This is kind of what he does. He's a great team builder. He takes
Hmm.
normally historic bad teams and bring them to the forefront. He did the same thing with James Madison. I want to say he did the same thing with Indiana University of Pennsylvania before that. And now he's at Indiana, and he has Indiana undefeated. Now, granted, the Indiana's Big Ten schedule hasn't been too tough. They've avoided Penn State. They've avoided Oregon. But they've handled their own business, and it's marked off teams that were in front of them.
Even
Big game
even
here.
Iowa, right? Like even
Mhm.
like at Iowa would probably be a tough game, I think as well. So yeah, no,
Big game here.
you're right. Yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
No, no, huge game here. 13 and a half points, I think, is disrespectful for a team that's been playing well and that can put
Agreed.
up points, right? That can actually score. I don't see Ohio State being the juggernaut as far as dominating all season. I think Indiana can keep it close. Do I think they win? That'd be love because I like Indiana. Um,
Mhm.
so I might sprinkle a little bit of something on the money line because the money line is going to be so large. But
Ah,
I definitely like the
yeah, you're right. 390 plus
yep.
390.
So, but I do like to buy a point to get over that key number of 14 and a half. Yep. So I'm gonna take Indiana at plus 14 and a half.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, man, I think it's gonna be a good game. I think Ohio State can't sleep, and this is actually a play. This is really a playoff game for Indiana. Indiana wins this game, they are in the playoffs. If they lose this game,
I was gonna ask that.
I know it's only going to be one loss, but I think the committee might look at that one loss as and then look at the other comparisons up across the board that they may slip out of this playoff top 12.
Who did Ohio State lose to? Because I know they got
They
one.
lost
No,
to Oregon. They went to Oregon and lost to Oregon.
they lost to Oregon. Okay, so they went to Oregon and lost to Oregon.
Right.
Penn State had.
I hope not. I hope this doesn't push Indiana out the playoffs. Maybe they can get a late seed, maybe a
Mhm.
10 through 12 or 8 through 12 because I like the team. I think the team is exciting. I think they play good defense. I think they play great offense. I think they're exciting. I think the story is exciting. First year coach at Indiana comes in, they got an undefeated team in the Big Ten. Just great storyline. So I hope it doesn't push them out. Um, but there's only one other undefeated team, and they're at 5, and somehow Penn State's ahead of them. So it's just interesting, just the respect that Indiana hasn't gotten all season yet.
Yeah. So if they lose this game, but everybody wins out, and there's one, three or four. Oh, no, three. I guess would be three teams with one loss. Who goes to the Big Ten game, the Big Ten championship game?
So I
Obviously
don't
Oregon, but who does Oregon face?
probably Ohio State.
You think it'll be Ohio State, even though Penn
Yeah.
State would win out?
Oh, that's true. Penn State. Well, Penn State lost to Ohio State, right?
Um, um,
1 second. I'm gonna look at it right now.
you said Penn State lost.
Yeah, Penn State already beat Ohio State.
Yeah, Penn State lost. No, Penn State lost to Ohio State.
Penn State, yeah, that's what I say. So it'll be Ohio State, probably Ohio State, Oregon in the Big Ten championship.
Okay.
Oh, but let me just look at it because I can look at the standings right now. I think I can.
Yeah, it is. They lost. Yeah, they lost to Ohio State. Yeah.
So right now, yeah. So Ohio State is third right now in the conference,
Yeah.
and
No, you're
number
right.
2 is Indiana. So if they beat Indiana, they'll move to number 2. It'll be Oregon, Ohio State. Indiana would drop probably to 4 or 3, and that's how it will work because Ohio State would beat both of them. So yeah, Ohio State gets back and there'll be a rematch in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, and Ohio State barely lost. Did they? They barely lost to Oregon, right?
Yeah, it was the last drive. Yep, at Oregon. It was a good game, really good game. I just think
Yeah.
13 and a half is a little too much for this game. And I think Indiana can't lose by that much. If they get blown out by Ohio State, that really just shows them, you know, they can't really compete. So yeah, man,
Yeah, I'm
give
looking
me
at Ohio
Indiana.
State's. I'm looking at Ohio State's schedule, and they've blown everybody out really except for Penn State and Oregon State.
Well,
Um,
I mean, everybody that's good.
Nebraska.
Everybody that's pretty good.
Yeah, and Nebraska played them tough. I burned that Nebraska game. That was a good game. And it wasn't even their fault. It wasn't Nebraska might have should have actually upset them because wasn't it
Hmm.
the quarterback a little bit reckless with the ball?
Hmm.
Was it Dylan or Dylan?
Which
The
one?
dude
Who
who
and what game?
Nebraska, the freshman who's kind of like they kind
Oh,
of compare him to
Raiola.
Mahomes.
Yeah, Raiola.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Hmm.
So
I
that's
was
too bad.
with you on this game, but now I'm looking at it. I mean,
Mhm.
I just wonder if this is too big a step up in competition for the Hoosiers because they haven't seen anybody like Ohio State on their schedule. I mean, they beat the brakes out off of Nebraska 56-7 though,
Mhm.
but that was at home. That wasn't at Ohio State or at Nebraska
Yeah, I mean,
is a better way to say it.
this is their biggest game of the year. Um, I just think they're a good team. I think they play on all cylinders. They play on both
Yeah.
sides of the ball. Special teams also. I think they're going to
Mhm.
be able to compete. Um, and then you also do have a look ahead game for Ohio State in their rivalry game. I know Michigan's
Yeah.
not good. It's still a big game. It's still Ohio State Michigan next week.
Mhm.
So, you got a team that's going to be coming here ready to play versus a team that's at home and comfortable. Ohio State's not a place where the fans are on top of you. The stadium is really large, but they're not sitting on top of you. It's never been like a place where people fear to go into Ohio State, like when you go to Penn State on a whiteout, or it's just a big
Mm.
stadium of people. So I don't think it's going to be that impact of um, you know players being overwhelmed. I think it's
Mhm.
just it's going to be their Super Bowl to kind of lead them into the playoffs. And is Ohio State going to match that energy? That's the question. Is that coming through?
Uh,
Are
what
you
that
getting
little
noise in the
noise?
background?
Slightly.
Okay.
I heard a snippet, but I know my phone rang. I know that came through. Um, Interesting on the line on ESPN. Look at the difference on bet parts. It's 13 and a half.
Mhm.
ESPN, it's 12. That's a big difference, man.
Yeah.
Big
I want to
difference.
get to I want to get to 14 and a half. So that's why I would go here and buy a point.
Yeah. I was looking. So, okay, first half spread, 6.5. I kind of like that.
Hmm.
Ohio State first half. By a touchdown, maybe. I think they're
First
either up or they're losing. Well, and that would be obvious, but I mean, I think they're either up by a touchdown, like, or they're losing by like three or tied. It could be a tie first half. Yeah, you know what? I was trying to get on board with this game, but I feel like this is a tough game to handicap, and I think the handicap that I would agree with that this is the biggest could be the biggest game in Hoosiers football history, right? And they're going to
it
be
is.
prepared and they're going
Yep.
to be up for this game, and if they win this game, or make this game close, it sets up everything for them.
For
Big
sure.
12 championship, playoff, it sets up everything. So there's so much at stake for them to win this game. Ohio State could lose this game, win again versus Michigan, and don't even blink an eye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think, like I said, I think like you said, it matters so much for Indiana. I
Yeah,
think they're going to be ready to play. I mean,
yeah, I agree.
they got nothing to lose too, though. Like nobody expected them to be undefeated. You know what I'm saying? They can play free. Nobody expects them to beat Ohio State. That's the thing. They're a 13-point underdog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not even it's a bad I would say if you look at things, this is a very bad spot for Ohio State.
Shows.